I muted us that way you couldn't hear anything. So this is the first time we've done the Fuzzy Duck Show. You know, it used to be called the Big Ben Show.
Big Ben?
Yeah, that's what this show was called.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, and then I got the name over here, and I'll tell that story, the Fuzzy nickname.
Yeah.
And then
But you just became Captain Fuzzy here a while back.
That's what, see, and then that's what, so I had remember I showed you the picture of the podcast the other day on my phone with the duck and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had that created before you started calling me Captain Fuzzy Duck.
Oh.
Yeah, so I had the Fuzzy Duck. So the Fuzzy Duck Show is what we got, and you're the first person to come on the Fuzzy Duck Show, Randall Crowell. Randall Crowell.
Well, thank you very much.
Hall's Mill hat you got going on there.
Yes, sir.
That was really cool. You got so many stories, and I don't even know where to begin with. I don't know even where to begin with all of them. You've got a whole book. You've got a lot of memorabilia behind you and everything.
Yes, sir.
And like I said, your history. You know, we're at Hall's Mill now. And we usually do this show at Barrel House Barbecue.
Uh-huh.
So this has been it's really cool. You know, it's a really cool. But your ties here run really deep. And so,
Yes, sir.
how long has your family been, here at Hall's Mill?
Well, the family came here about 1800 when this was settled in here. About 1800, 1820 when the church was built.
So like the church right up the road. Like you're talking about
It used to be Thompson Ford.
Thompson Ford.
It was the first. Thompsons were the first one in here.
Okay, so there wasn't a Hall. So it changed then.
Well, it used to be Thompson Ford, and it's been several names here. It used to be Glory Hole. It was Crowell's Mill for a long time because Crowell.
Oh, really?
Samuel Crowell had the mill here, and then it got to be Hall's Mill later on when John Hall bought the mill from Samuel Crowell after Samuel died. So that's the reason it's called Hall's Mill right now.
Oh, I got you. And you're talking about the mill that was down there, right?
I'm talking about the mill that was where the dam is.
Where the dam is, right down here.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And so you had the old dam down there, and then this church. How long has that church been there?
Well, they came in here after the Crowells came in here and built the church later on, about 1810, 1820.
1810 or 1820.
Yeah.
Golly. So you grew up a lot, like most of your life. Most of your life around here, and so where did you, like, as far as the schools and everything, where did you go to school at around here?
Well, I was born in Shelbyville.
Oh, okay.
I went to school at Unionville. My dad was principal over in 46 and 47. My freshman year, I went to my freshman year over at Unionville. Then my sophomore and senior year, I transferred up to Shelbyville.
Shelbyville.
Yeah.
And so, really, we even have some of your baseball memorabilia in here, like your jerseys and everything, and like you're wearing your hat and everything. So when did you start first playing baseball?
My first organized baseball when I was 15 years old. We didn't have Little League around here, but Shelbyville had Little League. But I didn't get to play in the Little League. We called it Little Bigger
why
League.
not? Yeah.
Little Bigger League. I was 15 years old. And that's the first organized baseball. If I might extend a little bit, we had a 9-game season, and most of the guys were right around here when we played for U.S. Rubber Mill. That was their name, right? Was it
U.S. Rubber Mill?
U.S. Royals. I was a pitcher. We played 9 games. I pitched in 7-inning ball games. I pitched every inning of every game.
Dang.
I pitched 63 innings, and we won all the ball games. No other pitcher got to pitch. That's back when.
Is that the only position you played in baseball?
No, we hit back in those days too. Yeah.
Yeah. What
I played shortstop.
you played shortstop?
A lot of times, Halls Mill. We had a Halls Mill team. Yeah.
Yeah. So you had like local teams around here and everything that would play each
Lynchburg,
other.
Played Lynchburg.
Oh, so Lynchburg had a team.
Lynchburg had a team.
Yeah. Were they pretty good?
They always had a war going on every Sunday afternoon against Lynchburg, Nolensville. Wheel had a team. Longview had teams back in those days. Every little town had teams.
Really? You talking about Wheel like on this road?
I'm talking about Wheel on this road over here. Yeah. Farmington had a team. Lewisburg.
All these little communities had teams.
Winchester Springs.
Man, was it like some
Nolensville.
Did you have like a championship and everything? Did you guys ever go to like a championship, or was it just like more for fun?
It was amateur, all for fun. Nobody didn't make no money on this. This was not pro. This was amateur stuff.
Gotcha.
Played for fun of it.
Yeah. Was this like when you were, when you play? I know you played when you're older. Is this when you played when you were older?
High school days.
Oh, the high school. Oh,
early
okay.
college.
I
These were
gotcha.
Grown adult people.
Gotcha. Okay, good deal. And so you went after high school, and where did you go play?
Out of high school, I went to University of Alabama. I did not have a scholarship, but I was a walk-on down there. I had 5 freshman pitchers on scholarship down there. And I was fortunate enough to be pitcher number 6, but not on scholarship.
Really?
I went on a trip. Back then, the freshmen couldn't play varsity sports.
So you couldn't start, even like walking on and everything. So you couldn't even.
Freshmen didn't get to play varsity sports back then. That was fall of '55, fall of '56. Back in that era, freshmen couldn't play football and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I made the team. And a couple of years, spring of '57, I transferred to UT, University of Tennessee, and played 3 years up there. But when I transferred, I was ineligible to play 1 year up there when you transferred. So I had a tough time getting started. But I did play last 2 years.
2 years, yeah, you got 2 years in then.
2 years.
So you went from Alabama to Tennessee then to play. Yeah.
Yeah.
You went to so both we have in common. We both went to Knoxville and everything, and it was a lot different in the '50s than it was. I guess I went in the 2010s. I think I was in 16. I think I went up there in 16.
Yeah.
That's what
I done there spring of '57.
Yeah.
George Caffey, the old, he made All-American in Tennessee in 1937. That happened to be the year I was born. He wound up being my baseball coach at UT and got me on a scholarship before I got out of there.
Oh, so that's how you.
So he is my favorite, the toughest guy up there I could get along with.
Really? Yeah. What was it? So you played the teams like in the SEC and everything,
yeah.
Like Florida and Auburn. Like, did you play those teams,
or
like what kind of conference was it back in the '50s?
It was tough. He was in the eastern part. We didn't play Alabama. Those guys played Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
I enjoyed playing Vanderbilt because we could beat most of them most of the time.
Really? Who was the hardest team you had to play in your division?
Florida always had a tremendous team due to the weather. They'd come up there in 1st of March and we looked white as snow. They'd unload the bus out there and look like they'd been in South America somewhere getting tans because they'd been in Florida all them years.
Yeah.
They were tough.
Yeah, they were used to it. Yeah, they were used to
best
heat.
game I ever pitched, probably my senior year up there. I'm fortunate enough to beat Florida 2-1 one afternoon up there, and that was a feather in my cap.
Yeah. Was that your favorite game? Well, what was your favorite game in college? In college baseball.
He's probably beating those guys. We didn't play about 20 game season. All we had. We didn't have a playoff at the end of the year.
Yeah.
you finished your schedule, you went to the house for the summer.
And that was it. Yeah, that was, so there was no like
That was it.
championship.
They had some, but it was all invitational deal. It wasn't a big playoff like.
Oh,
that
it's
now.
not like the playoffs and everything. Yeah. Mm. And so what, you play your years at UT and everything, and that was, who was the guy we were talking about the other day? Paxton, right? The one, the educator.
P. Claxton.
P.B. Claxton, not Paxton. Claxton, yeah.
Yeah.
And he was actually, UT, went to UT, correct?
Yeah, he was born in 1862.
Right,
Just
yeah.
about 2
And the
miles.
building I did a lot of my classes in when I was up there teaching.
That's Claxton Hall.
I gotta hook this up. You can keep talking. I'm gonna hook. I gotta hook this cord up. 1 second. Get this show going. Keep going.
Presley Claxton was his full name. He was educated here in Turntown Academy down the road here, real close. His idea was he wanted to give every kid a chance to get an education, no matter what color he was or anything. He pushed for higher education. He said we can't sit around here and have other people like the Germans and all that no more than we do. We need to educate everybody.
Right.
He went everywhere to raise money to get education off his full blast.
Dang. That's really, that's really cool. And he was like, it's the fact that they built that building for him, and they've remodeled it and everything, so it's really nice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, it's really updated. But you did your classes. Let's see, you majored in what? That's the important thing. You majored in.
I was over in.
We were in two different. I went to that building, but it was old.
I was over in I like Perkins Hall. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm civil engineer. I graduated with civil engineering degree.
Wow.
Finally got through with all the baseball wars and everything.
Yeah, so that was your thing, like math was your thing then.
Well, English.
You're the math guy, and I was the English guy.
Was not my bailiwick. English has flunked a lot of good engineers out of school.
I bet. But chemistry has flunked a lot of good English people out of school too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Chemistry and all that. Yeah, that was probably the hardest. Yeah, some of the hardest classes I had. But yeah, engineering I couldn't ever imagine. And I always think about you always write with a fine pencil, like a fine lead pencil. You never use a pen, do you?
Very seldom, other than
when you're writing a check.
Yeah. I'm with a pen. Yeah.
Because you can't mess up as an engineer. You're probably so used to when you were drawing all the maps or like the blueprint.
The small notes came out of doing surveying out in the field.
And then after
you gotta write small to put a lot of information on a small sheet.
And so we're bouncing around everywhere with it. Yeah, the baseball. So you major. Not only you're a baseball player at UT, you're the pitcher, right? You were. Is that the only position you played there?
I played left field a lot because I could use the bat a lot.
I got you.
Pitching there, Coach Capigo had me in left field.
Good.
Not for my defensive purposes in left field, but from a stick at home plate for my time.
Just the top.
My junior year, I was the only guy on the team that hit over 300.
So that was that's what your batting percentage. What was it was over 300?
I can hit.
Yeah, dang. So that was the highest it was your junior year. It was higher than the senior year.
Yeah, probably was. Yeah.
Yeah, dang. It was over 300. Man.
I was the only guy that hit over 300 my junior year.
Did you ever hit any home runs?
Every now and then you accidentally get into one, yeah.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Man. So not only, you're a baseball player, but you in college at UT and you graduated with civil engineering. So what was it after? I never asked you this. What did you do as soon as you graduated after UT?
Well, unfortunately, President Eisenhower needed some more people in the Army, so I was drafted as soon as I graduated.
Right. What year was this? Late 50s?
I got out in 1960.
Oh, okay, 60. Okay.
December 1960, I headed to Fort Jackson, South Carolina in the Army.
Wow. So you got drafted. You got drafted.
They were waiting on me to get out of Tennessee. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Man. But
I went to the Army and did basic training in Fort Jackson for about 3 months. And we got shipped to Army Chemical Center, Maryland,
right.
up northeast of Baltimore. And first thing I asked when I got there, I got there in the afternoon next morning, I asked, was there a baseball team on post? And they said, yeah. I said, well, I'm headed that way right now. That was in December, but I did make the basketball team.
Right.
And then later that spring we got going. I played 2 years of baseball there. Army baseball.
You played in the Army baseball?
Yeah.
Dang. Wow. And then you played pitcher again?
Pitcher again. Yeah. Yeah, I had tough service there. I was on TDY most of the time.
So you played. So you just went to the Army and then you played baseball for the Army.
Yeah, but I had a civil engineer MOS.
Here, I'm gonna move this way.
Civil engineer MOS.
So what were your? But I'm curious. What were your plans? You know, if you hadn't got drafted after straight out of college, what were you thinking? You know, what was Randall Crowell thinking? Senior year, what were you thinking of doing after you graduated
I
at UT?
had contact with the engineering company in Daytona Beach, Florida. My first cousin was the president of the engineering company, Russell Laxon Engineers out of Daytona. They're originally out of St. Louis. That's where I was.
That's where you planned on going. That's where you.
When I got, they sat there and waited for 2 years for me to get out, but I got a shot when I got out of the service.
Did you ever go like out after you got out of the Army? Did you go to them, or what happened after the Army?
Well, I was in the Army playing baseball in the Army. First thing, I had a fellow out of New York with the New York Mets. A guy named Al Weaver, who was an older fellow. He was a scout. He told me it looked like you might have a little chance playing a little baseball. We'll keep in touch with each other until we get out of the Army. Maybe you can play some ball. So I got through the first year and I didn't hear from him. It kept on and on. I was about 6 months from having my last 6 months to go. I wrote a letter to his address, and I got a notice back from his wife. She told me that Mr. Weaver had died cutting Christmas trees up in Maine in December, and that's the reason he never did answer me. He was a scout from New York Mets. The New York Mets started playing, they were franchised in 1963.
Yeah.
And I hated that because I thought that may have been my shot.
That was your shot then.
That was my shot, but of course he never did answer me. So I got about 2 months before I got out, a guy from Cleveland Indians called me out one day and said, when you getting out of the Army? I said, 9th December. He said, come by. I said, he lived in Baltimore.
Gotcha.
He said, where can we meet? You come by the stadium when you get out of the Army. So I left the Army base, got out of the Army, drove to Municipal Stadium in Baltimore, which is the home of the Baltimore Orioles baseball team.
Yeah. And
signed the Cleveland Indian contract under that stadium that morning, and got in my car and drove to Halls Mill, Tennessee. I had a good day that day.
Yeah, it was probably one of the best days.
One of the best days.
One of the best days of your life, then.
Yeah.
Man, why did you have to go to Baltimore to get it signed instead of what is it, Cleveland? Yeah.
Well, I was 10 miles from Baltimore.
Oh,
in the Army,
they just
at the
came.
Army
Oh,
base.
they just came to you
So
there.
I loaded
Okay,
up-
that's
I
right.
loaded up-
Yeah,
I loaded
yeah.
my one suitcase up in my 57 Chevrolet and drove to the stadium, signed the contract.
Oh man, how many years was it? Do you remember?
Well, that was in 19. That was 1962. That was.
Yeah, and it was to be a pitcher for.
I
Since
was trying to go to Cleveland.
Yeah.
I went to spring training in Cleveland Indians in 1963. Tucson, Arizona. I was signed to Dubuque, Iowa in the Western League. I never got there. I got released after about 3 weeks there. Got released. Didn't go to Dubuque, but I came back here and stayed here about a month, and I headed engineering in Daytona Beach, Florida.
Yeah, so you went. Yeah, you ended up going to Daytona.
Yeah.
And then what did you, like working? So you ended up working for your family and everything down there, right?
Well, I worked. In fact, no, my
Yeah,
dad and mother was up here.
Yeah.
I was with a first cousin of mine who was running the firm there. We did. I started basically my engineering career started right then.
And what about like, some of the places that you've been? Did you just stay in Daytona as an engineer, or did you ever get to travel to other places?
Oh, we traveled all over Florida.
Really?
The company had 2 airplanes. We was in the air all the time. It was a big company. We had 35, 40 engineers there working. We did wastewater plants, sewer treatment plants, streets, roads, you name it.
Dang.
All over Florida. We were in there before Walt Disney was in there. Ever got started.
Really? Really?
Orlando. I remember driving across the state there one day, and I saw a big sign out in Orange Grove.
For Disney?
This Orange Grove had been bought by Walt Disney.
Did you even know what that was? Did you know what that was?
I didn't know what Walt Disney was. I didn't know a little bit what Walt Disney was in California.
Yeah.
But it wasn't long until Walt Disney built Walt Disney in Florida.
Right. Yeah.
So I know Florida about pretty good piece back in those days.
Yeah. Did you ever go like out of the country and do stuff, or?
Yep. I went to Middle East for 4, 5, 6 years. Yeah.
Dang, that has to be pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Like, what countries did you go to, or country?
Well, I was over in Saudi Arabia, but I traveled around, went to a lot of different countries traveling around. Norway, Sweden, Egypt. If you ever get a chance, go to Egypt.
Yeah, really.
History piled on top of each other.
So I'm assuming that you saw the pyramids and everything like that.
Pyramids.
Yeah.
They got things in Egypt that the government can't afford to dig them up because it takes too much money. They got things there in their history buried underneath the ground, just like the Sphinx was. They discovered they had to dig it out from under sand.
Yeah.
Because it was covered over with sand for 400 years or more.
How did you like get to ride on any camels and all that stuff when you were over there?
I got pictures of riding on a camel.
Yeah.
Getting on a camel, the camel's laying basically.
Yeah, I was about to say, how do you get on a camel anyways?
Very carefully.
It's not like they have a saddle or anything. Do they have saddles?
Camel's laying there on the ground. He got his feet on the ground, stomach on the ground with 4 feet sticking out.
Mm-hmm.
And the camel guy that running me put you on top. He said, now hold your breath, because you going up an elevator here in a few minutes. Camel starts getting up, and that's camel got legs about 8 feet long, and you feel like you're going to stick you up in the moon somewhere there. I got a picture of the biggest pyramid there are in Egypt.
Man,
Rock in
how,
Gaza.
how close did you get to go to, like, get to the pyramids, the actual pyramids?
Well,
Like, did you get to
for-
get close, or they just
Fortunately,
kind
when
of?
I was there,
What's it like?
fortunately, when I was there, you could
You could probably just
you
walk
could-
up to
you
it,
could
couldn't
get,
you?
You could get on the pyramids, which I did.
Really?
They
Dang,
would let
that's
you get that
cool.
close. I was basically by myself. I'd often heard that the rocks there were cut so close together that you couldn't get a pocket knife down in between one rock and the next one.
Was that true?
And I had a little pocket knife in my pocket, and I got up on the pyramid quite a piece. I'd by myself, nobody.
Nobody with
bothered.
you?
I had to kick a little sand off to get these rock are in there, but probably about a meter by a meter. Okay, 3 feet by 3 feet,
Okay, yeah.
chiseled out. I'll have to say I had to sort of wiggle that knife a little bit to ever get it in that crack, and they were right. Those stone masons that done
That's
all
amazing.
that work, millions of hours in stone masons.
That's amazing.
You
Like,
don't know
you know
that.
how you think about how they could have done something like that, and like if they were just off. I mean, you're an engineer, and even if they were off just one bit, like it could have just messed it all. You know, it had to have messed it all up.
They brought those rock in from the Nile River in boats, and we got them across all that sand. And the next question you're gonna ask: how'd they get the rock?
Yeah, yeah. How did they get it from the? That's like always been the
I
mystery.
understand.
Yeah, that's always been the mystery. So what's
got
your
a I got
what
a
do
picture
you?
hanging over my wall in my house. I bought this on paper. The pyramids were built on a slant. They were everything, and they big heavy ropes around those rocks,
Yeah.
wet, tied those, and when the sun dried the big ropes out, the rope shrunk and pulled that rock up, whatever, and they untied all them ropes and did the same thing again the next day. It took years and years to build those pyramids. And in one place over there, you can walk up there and you look down, there's pyramids every 15 miles as far as you can see,
Really?
lined up.
Which one did you sit? Did you sit like on?
The
Did you
big one at Gaza.
the big
That's
one?
right
Okay,
outside.
so you got the you say you went to the biggest one.
That's the big one. It's right outside of Cairo.
Wow, that's awesome.
I went in there one night. I know we're sort of drifting around here. I think that's what the name of this show is, drifting around.
That's what. See, you give me ideas for everything, name and everything.
I wanted to go to Cairo before I left the Middle East. Got a little trip into Cairo that one night, and I told the cab driver, told the people that once I got to the hotel, I think it was the Holiday Inn, no kidding. I said, you got a picture where I look out my window and see the pyramid at night? They said, well, wait a minute, look. He said, yeah, we got a room where you can crack your window there and see the pyramid. So I eased in there about 9 o'clock at night. There's a lot of floodlights and everything on. I didn't trying to get settled down. I said, I'm gonna see if this guy up front desk been talking to me here. See if he's telling me a wee, you know. I pulled the shade up. I looked out and I saw this thing so close I couldn't focus on it, and I finally got focused on it. I said, man, that's the pyramid. It was 4 miles away, and that pyramid looked like
No
it was
way.
right. I could reach out and touch it.
No.
That's how big them suckers are.
That's crazy.
400 feet high, I think.
What was the craziest country you ever been to, as far as wildest?
Well,
Would it have to be, you know, just like fun? I'm talking fun.
Well,
That's what I'm talking,
I
fun.
like Italy a lot.
Oh, you did?
Portofino, Italy is the prettiest place I ever saw in my life.
Really? What is that? Is it outside of Rome or I'm not.
Portofino in the Mediterranean Sea up there. It's a seaport. There's water everywhere. The water is crystal clear. The town Portofino's on a hill, and all the houses and everything has got these little bouquets outside the windows. And down below where the boats are floating in the water, you're a canoeist, and every color in the rainbow them boats are. Red, green, black,
Oh
blue.
yeah, that's beautiful.
The prettiest thing, and the boat be anchored out there, and you could look under the boat. It looked like you're sitting on air because the water's
So clear. Wow,
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
They make these kayaks now. I don't know if you've ever seen them, but they're clear. It's this clear, and you can see through, like a see-through kayak.
Like a sea.
Yeah, like a see-through kayak. Yeah, they make those.
Crystal Springs, they got those doggone boats down there.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. I knew you can look down and just see the water.
Swimming around in this boat. Yeah.
I know if you put it in the duck though down here, it would be pretty much dirt. You know, just you wouldn't be able to see hardly, probably nothing. But you know, one of the things that you showed me, you know, before that was really cool about that guy. You know, the story about that guy that mapped out all of this at the duck. Remember that?
Oh yeah, Joe Brooks.
Yeah, and he mapped out all the
From Tennessee River all the way to Manchester.
like the entire duck.
The entire day.
Yeah.
Did it by himself.
And the engineer, he was an engineer, wasn't he?
He's an army engineer type guy. Yeah, he's in the armor division, and yeah, he's military. He was engineering.
And how did you meet him? How did you meet him? Because you have his volume. You know, there's like what 5 volumes that you. I mean, it's all detailed.
Yeah, no, he came by a store here one day, basically for the first time I ever met him, with all these drawings and stuff. You know, all these detailed drawings. He detailed all the flour and grits mills up and down the river. He got all the gearings, how it all worked and all that, all the undershoots, overshoot, water wheels, turbines.
And all like the mills and everything. Yeah. He had all the mills and went in there, and it was crazy. Like all the machinery.
When he started, but when he got through, he had all those details.
And he broke down the machinery in there too.
Broke down the machinery.
These
are 4 and 5 deck story mills, just like shown right over here on that little mill there. That little on the counter over there. Yeah, these are 4 or 5 story mills.
Yeah. And so you've been coming. This store at Hall's Mill, you know, it's always been open. Like, do you? I mean, as far as you can remember.
Yeah.
You know, has it ever been closed before?
Yeah, it's been closed to people, different ownership.
I mean, I know it's been closed. It closed like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Or, you know, it was closed before we opened it and everything. But was it closed before then? Has it ever closed before then, or has it just always stayed open?
Well, different ownerships, you know.
Yeah.
It had some downtime. My dad came in this store in 1920. I'm not positive, but I believe Randall Crowell asked my dad to come in here. He said, Percy Crowell, this is my dad. He said, Percy, come in here, I'll show you the inside of my store. So he walked in here and he said, it's the prettiest baby blue he ever saw in his life.
Painted all these walls and everything?
These walls
were baby blue.
Were baby blue.
I like that.
Tongue and groove walls. Tongue groove is made out of wood, painted baby blue. And Carl Westner did some remodeling here about 3 or 4 years ago. He tore up some of it on the side runners back here.
Okay.
Exposed some of that.
Oh, he got some of that baby blue back.
Exposed some of that tongue and groove walling. It still had baby blue on it.
Wow.
In 1948, got 42 inches in this store. 42 inches off the floor. Flood, 1948.
42. Oh, you're talking about 42 inches. 42 inches in here.
In the store, and the store did not float off its foundation. It filled up full of water, and it's still here. It didn't remove. But this
Wow.
Duck River.
Is that the highest you've ever? That's the highest as far as that it's ever been.
Well, it's been.
As far as you've seen it here, you know, as far as as far as you've.
Yeah, I was 11 years old. I was 11 years old in 1948.
Yeah.
And Mr. Joe Baker running the store. And of course, all the candies and everything down below that sort of washed out and clean up. He made an announcement one day. He said, "Boys," said, "all this candy in here I can't reuse, but you guys can have it if you want it." I was 11 years old. I ate Hershey bars until June. And that was the last of February then. We ate Hershey bars all summer. That's the best news we ever had. That flood didn't bother us.
It didn't bother.
We walked all the bridge. Bridge of Pope.
Did it tear the bridge? Yeah. Did it do anything to the bridge?
It was a trestle bridge in, but it stayed. But it.
Like a trestle bridge. Okay, so what are you talking about? I don't know what that.
A trestle bridge is made out of.
Like metal.
Made out of.
Or like
metal channels and.
Oh, it's kind of like
goes up and down.
That. Oh, okay. Is that the one over there with the picture?
That's the one over there. With
that
the
when it
got overloaded and overloaded a big truck and broke in. It fell off. It crashed into the river.
I can't remember that story. I mean, we got the picture of it, but what that was in the 50s. That was in the 50s, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, it's on that picture over there.
Yeah. And so what? Just one truck got in there and it got over. They got overloaded or something.
Overloaded and it, and the bridge just couldn't handle the load. And it slipped off the bluff over there. Went in there about 60, 70 feet down the top of the bluff. But the truck never did turned over. He just rode it down.
Really? He wasn't hurt or like? Was it just one guy?
Just one guy.
Do you know who it was?
I did not know. I don't remember who it was.
Yeah.
Probably knew him, but I don't remember.
Yeah, you just don't. Yeah. What about when that flood happened and you're talking about when it flooded in here? What was it like at your house and everything? I mean, where did you live? Where did you live at as a kid? I mean, did you live on the same property that you live on now, or?
No, I lived on Pastor Road when I was a kid, but it never got up high. But we could see the water all the way from front of my house to the store up here, and we could ride a boat from my house to here without paddling across the field.
Mm.
It was high. Yeah, we know where the flood marks are around here.
Dang. That's crazy.
In 1906 was a big flood. 1906 washed.
Bigger than the 48 one?
Yeah.
Really? What did it do?
1929 was a big one.
Yeah. You were talking about the 1906. What did that one do? Do you remember?
There used to be a big wood bridge here. It washed it out. Washed all the mills out from here to.
Like you're washing. You're talking
downstream.
about. So you're talking about it.
It washed the first mill out that was here.
It was like the Hall's Mill, Thomas Mill, or whatever it was called back then.
Well, this was Crowell's Mill.
Or Crowell's Mill at the time, yeah. So it. Are you talking about it destroyed it?
Samuel Crowell got permission to build the dam and the first dam and the first dam and the first mill in 1826.
Yeah.
They started in they got the permission from the state of Tennessee. I had to get it so they could build it. So that's when they started. They stayed there from 1826, we'll say, to 1906. Wiped everything out. Wiped all the mill out. Of course, the dam was underwater. It did damage, but the mill, survived it because it was underwater. And then 1929 was a huge one. And then 1948.
That was the one that you.
Yeah. That I'm familiar with.
Yeah. Has there been any more since then?
No.
That
they're
really.
a little bit short. Tim Ford Dam up here got built, and that helped out a little.
That helped out. Well, that was probably in the 50s, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. There used to be gas pumps out in the front, weren't there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a picture.
Oh, you do? Really?
Gasoline 15 cents a gallon.
Was there a sign? Like, what kind of, I'm trying to think of like the gasoline pumps back in, like, what were they like back then?
They had glass on top.
Okay.
I can see a Texaco now. Texaco was big back then.
So they were
Texaco
ones.
They
Wow.
fill that glass container up on top with fuel. And it had gauges on it. It would tell you how much you put in your car. You tell how much it went down. Give you a readout how many gallons you put in your tank.
Was there one or two of them out there?
About one or two of them.
No
more than about two. We used a lot of coal oil. They made oil out of coal.
Yeah.
They sold that too, and they used it. It was a cheaper fuel. They run in big tractors.
Okay.
Yeah.
When did they?
Or you put it in. We didn't have no electricity here until 1948.
Really?
We played cards and everything around the store here with a little coal oil lamp sitting there playing cards. No electricity.
Yeah. When did they get, like the coal and everything? When did they get rid of that? You know what I'm saying? Like I've never even heard of like coal before.
Yeah. Well, used to use whale oil and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, really?
Many years ago, and these lamps around these log cabins and stuff. Oh, to answer your question, the war changed a lot of things. 40, 42, 43, 44, during the war years, there's a lot of things changed.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there that they still use kerosene and all that kind of stuff, but it's not as much as it used to be.
Right.
Diesel came in.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Diesel
came
in.
And then that kind of just wiped it.
That's a refinery deal.
Gotcha.
With the engine.
That wiped it up. It kind of got rid of it, I guess.
Yeah. You know who invented the diesel engine?
No.
Hey, a guy named Diesel.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. That's
No.
his name.
I didn't know that. Hey, I want to get to some of that stuff over there that we, like your baseball stuff. We'll do the baseball stuff, and then we'll save your saga stuff for the last. I want to save that for the last. So we hadn't talked about that yet, so I just want to hold that for the last. So let me go. Yeah, I'm gonna go get that real quick.
All right. So we off the air now?
No, we're still rolling.
All right.
Yeah, we're still rolling. I'm gonna get this stuff. I'm just gonna get some of this stuff.
All right.
Some of this stuff's cool. All of it really is. Like all these jerseys and everything.
I'm just gonna show you what I've been involved with over the years.
Yeah.
All this is amateur. No pay, no nothing.
So this glove, I'm gonna put my headphones back on so I can actually hear myself. So this glove right here, where was this? Like, which one is this one?
That's my high school glove.
Oh, this is your high school glove?
Yeah. I used that senior in high school. Probably had it at least 3 or 4 years. In glove life, 3 or 4, 5 years beating on it like that.
Yeah.
I got another glove. Hollis Pascal used this for another 5 or 6 years.
So you threw Well, you threw right-handed. Did you bat right? Did you?
I'm righty all the way.
Oh, you are. See, when I played, I threw right, but I batted left.
All right.
Yeah, when I played.
I knew a fella could bat both ways. I met him, a guy named Mickey Mantle.
Really? Did you play, did he play at UT or did he play at one of
I
those?
met Mickey years ago after he retired.
Oh, man.
He was my favorite guy in high school, playing for New York Yankees.
No way. Wow. And he could hit both ways.
He's out of Commerce, Oklahoma.
Crazy, man. So what about this one right here, like this White Sox one? You got like a White Sox one?
I played at Huntsville, Alabama. I had a team down there called Huntsville White Sox, and I played for that team. I just grabbed a handful of stuff that I
Yeah.
that I
What year? Well, yeah. What year would that have been when you played for that? Was that when you were older?
About 60 years old.
60. Let's see, like.
About 60. This one here is about.
Let's see, Astros. Was this like one of your? This one's like newer. Was this like one of your last?
Huntsville, Alabama, about 10 years ago. Yeah.
So how did you get to playing down there? All the way down there. Like when did that start? Did that start with when you were doing the White Sox? When you were playing for the White Sox?
When I retired, I left Saudi Arabia about 86. Drifted up here about 86. Bought a farm down here, and I got. Been playing softball here and there and everywhere. And about 86, I saw where they was playing ball at Laverne down here in Nashville, amateur stuff. So I went down there and got started about 85, 86, whatever, down there, and played 4 or 5 years down there. And I got to contact with some people I worked with over at Arnold Engineering Center that were playing ball in Huntsville. I said, they had an older league down there. I said, I might try that. So that's when I started, let's say for lack of a better, about 1990.
Gotcha.
I've been playing down there.
Been there since 1990.
Basically ever since.
And then this one right here, what is it?
That's Decatur, Alabama.
Decatur, Alabama.
Decatur had a team.
I like the American
Decatur
flag on
Braves,
it.
Yeah.
18. Let's see, 19. Did you have a favorite number, or did you just wear whatever? Did you just wear whatever? Because I'm looking at these, and they all look like they have different numbers on them.
You don't wear whatever because there's always another guy who wants something. I like the 8 and I like the 8 and 9 and all that stuff. And I got tired of fooling around with all that stuff, so I said I'll get 40. So I used 40 for a long time, and a lot of times you get on these teams and they'll list another guy like 40. You just use whatever.
You just over. Whatever's left. What about when you were at UT? We got the Vols one. I want to show everyone that one. We got the Vols one over there. What number was that one? Do you remember?
That's the 1951 jersey. Got number 1 written on the back.
Oh, okay.
That was the year they went to the World Series.
Ooh, gotcha. And then this one, Royal. So who would that have?
I played for
8. Yeah, that's 8.
Out of Nashville. When I first started, about early 1990.
1990. Dang,
Yeah.
So you played everywhere. You played everywhere then. Yeah.
I just got a hand.
And then like the 75 plus.
Yeah.
Is this like
That's
when you're playing?
Plus, I was playing San Diego. Yeah, it's got 75 plus written on that. I played in the first 75 plus
league. So you were playing baseball when you were 75. You were still playing baseball.
Well, I was probably 80, 83 or 84 when I played for the 75 because it took them that long to get the 75 organized.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. So you were older. Yeah, you were older. And then
I never had a.
What's the South Dakota?
You
went to South Dakota.
South Dakota Rushmore. Yeah.
Yeah.
I played with those guys.
So you lived in South Dakota for a point.
I didn't live there. I played with them.
Oh, okay. Where did you play? Like where at? Like where was this league? Yeah.
Basically, this was a tournament out in Phoenix, Arizona, with the men's senior baseball tournaments in Tucson and Phoenix, Arizona.
Cool.
There'll be 400 teams in there all at one time, different age brackets. 60, 65, 70, 75.
Dang.
And these guys, South Dakota boys, so one day I played against them one year.
Oh, you did?
And they said I met a guy at the airport who's he's a straw ball manager. He's going back to South Dakota. He played against me when I was out there. And he said, next year we need an ace on the team. I said, well, yeah, everybody needs an ace. Who you talking about? So I'm talking about you. So I'll get you in touch with the manager. We sure would like to have you on our ball club. And I played, next year I went and played for 15 years after that.
Dang, you played 15 years.
With that same ball club.
With that same team?
Yeah.
Golly. Gosh.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Let me go I want to go get this balls one too. This one, I'm going to put these back. I'm going to go get the...
It's already got dark on it.
Yeah, I know it has. I never asked you about this one now. So what about this one right here? Like this Tigers one. What is this?
That's a long story on the Tiger.
Yeah.
We played the amateur ball around here forever. We never did have no uniforms around here. Only uniform we had was borrowed from high schools, high school teams. Everybody.
Oh yeah, so
I had a Central High School jersey, another guy had a whatever.
So no, you didn't have like a all same team.
My dad, Randall Crowell, my dad, he coached high school baseball and all that stuff around here. And our local guy, on Sunday, they'd take up collection. It wasn't him. He just they'd pass a hat around,
Drop whatever.
Drop $1 or $2 in the cap and all that stuff, and they kept. And we had bought some balls and all that. They don't throw they didn't throw a ball away like they do with big.
Yeah.
Two balls for 2 games. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
By the way, they have a big old high seam ball too. They use them flat seams now. Anyway, long story short, it took up money at the game. The people that threw. And we kept getting little pot. So it was along about June. I guess it was about 1953 or 54. I was a freshman, junior in high school, something like that. We collected about $1,500. And somebody said, we need to get some uniforms. Ed Law, he's the manager. He grew up here. He's a lawyer later on. Ed sort of had the team going. We were sitting here at the store one morning, and said he had $1,500 in his pocket. He said, we need some uniforms. I said, what are you going to do about it? He said, me and you going to Nashville Sporting Goods in my car right now and see if we can buy us some uniforms. Pretty good command. I said, yeah, I'll be glad to go with you. So
Yeah.
And I got in his car. We drove to Nashville Sporting Goods. I don't know what street they were, but big sporting goods store down there. We asked the guy, walked in there, we asked him, said, you got any uniforms left over? It was June, it's about the end of the season for high school and all that stuff. he sort of scratched his head a little bit. He said, you know, I believe I got one complete set sitting back there. Got 15 jerseys and 15 pants. And we got socks and stuff. He still had to take a look at them. So he brought them out there and put them out there on the table and said, how all that big old box there and had all that nice fancy paper over the top of them, you know,
Yeah.
that white looking soft. He peeled that back in front of Ed and I. By the way, Ed's name was Rev Law. He went with Rev all his life. He went to Vanderbilt. He was a lawyer or whatever later years. I looked at it, prettiest tiger you ever saw there, get written across the front.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
And he had looked over at me, and I looked over at him.
It was zipper too. Yeah, you had to zip this
said,
thing on.
Yeah, it's made out of wool.
Yeah, I know.
Made out of wool.
This thing had to be hot when you were playing in it.
Well, we'll get that in a minute, okay? I'm not done yet. He had looked at me, and I looked, and he had looked at me, and I looked at him. I said, have we got enough money? He said, the guy said, yeah, you guys got enough money. You certainly enough money. I said, look like we're Halls Mill Tigers.
Halls Mill Tigers.
We look like we're Halls Mill Tigers.
Hmm.
And he had wrote a book later on. I've got a copy of that book, and he remembered that. It's in that book. So that's how Halls Mill Tigers got.
Yeah.
started.
So the jersey. Yeah, that jersey goes with the hat then.
The jersey.
The red. Yeah, that red hat. That's your.
We got the red.
You got
hat
the hats
at
too.
the same time.
Mm.
So that's the story on the Halls Mill Tigers.
Yeah.
And we kept those uniforms going there for 4, 5, 6, 8. You know, they finally wore out. And of course, by then they'd come up with some more money. You know.
Yeah, to get something else
that-
and
well,
everything.
that's the original
Yeah,
Halls Mill
that's
Tiger.
cool. Halls Mill Tigers right
Yeah.
here. That's neat. Yeah, that's cool. Wilson, yeah. Wilson brand, 55. That was you, 55. That was you, 55, right?
That was not my number. My number was 45. That
Okay,
belonged
so
to-
that's-
That belonged to Lightfoot Hornsby. I know he played center field for us, and the guy could chase down a rabbit in a 48 field. Good ball player, yeah.
And then let's see this one right here. It's coming off the hanger right here. This one's made out of wool too.
Made
But
out of wool.
this is the
That's
ball.
a 1951
This is when
51 Tennessee Volunteer with number 1 written on
number
the back
1. That was you. That was you, right?
That was not me.
This wasn't you.
I wasn't there in 51. I got there in
That's what. Yeah.
about 60.
So how did you get that jersey?
Well, I didn't think you was going to ask me that. But I reckon I'm grandfathered in, okay?
Yeah, you're grandfathered in. Yeah.
All right. I'll just try to get as short as I can, as easy as I can, how I got that. When I went to Tennessee up there, I arrived there one day. Newt Parsons was my buddy in high school, and he was head football manager at Tennessee. And he said, "Come up here and we'll put you on the training table, and you work with me, and we'll get you at least eats." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I said, "Man, if I can get eats, I'm on scholarship. Man, I'll work whatever these guys tell me to do." I'm getting into high pockets too, okay? So I got there one day, and fall of the year, football practice. We got to get in there about 2 weeks early, so we can handle the football team coming in.
Yeah.
This would have been spring of '57, and I worked with a fellow named Lon Carpenter. Lon made all the football shoes. He repaired all the helmets. He kept he could make a pair of shoes out of a piece of leather on his shoemaking machine and all that kind. He's long about 60 years old. I basically could work for him. And Newt told him what my name was and all that stuff. And 4 days over, he called me back. He said, I need for you to do something. I said, what do you need? What do you need, Lon? He said, High Pockets, I need you to make up 15 beds over there for these recruits coming in. He said, High Pockets.
That's what they called you. They never called you by your real name, did they?
No, that's what Lon called me. Because he didn't know
He didn't know your name?
Well, he knew it, but these guys are professional cobblers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
High Pockets came right out of his mouth. I was High Pockets for 5 years. Nobody ever knew my name. That's where the High Pockets came from.
Right.
So, back to how I got that #1 jersey. 2 or 3 years later, Newt and I was fooling around with. We had keys to everything. We had keys to all the old sporting good stuff, you know, that was been there forever. Newt came by me one day and he said, "You want this old jersey?" I looked at it. Yeah, I want it. So he threw that old #1 jersey over there. I stuck it in my suitcase up at the dorm up there, and when I left Tennessee in 1960, it came with me to the house. I still got it.
Yeah. And you guys, that's crazy. And you guys were blue back then. That's the crazy thing. Was Tennessee blue instead of orange back then? Because that's a blue, you know what I'm saying? That's
General Neyland got that orange going, as I understand. Now don't quote me on this. General Neyland, he was. Everybody knows who Bob Neyland is.
Yeah, General Neyland.
I believe he got the orange going. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Whatever color he got.
Yeah, I didn't even know.
Whatever color he got, he wanted that color so you could beat Vanderbilt. I read some books on where he
Right.
He was hard to beat Vanderbilt. I know this is probably getting public somewhere.
Yeah.
They hired General Neyland, and I know General Neyland. I shook hands with him.
Did you really?
I knew his son. So he was still living when I was.
Where did you? When you were in the Army?
When I was football manager at Tennessee.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Student manager.
Wow, that's neat.
He came to practice out there, and he said, "Kiddo, what play they gonna run now?" He said, I stick my head over in the HUD, and they say 42. I said, "General, they're gonna run 42."
Wow, that's so cool that you met him. Yeah.
42. He said, "Well, what's the next play gonna be?" So I talked to him.
That's neat. This is really cool.
And he lived in Sarasota, Florida, and that particular time, Boston Red Sox used to spring training there. So, and General would wear this Boston Red Sox wind blazer, the prettiest thing I ever.
Prettiest thing you ever seen.
I would love to have that thing.
Man, that's so cool, dude.
But no, I knew him. I didn't know him personally.
But you met him, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and so, one of the last things I want to talk about is the sorghum that you have.
Yeah.
And the whole, the whole shebang and deal that you do with that.
Yeah.
And, we'll get into the festival and everything.
Yeah.
And so, where did that all start? Has that always been something here at Hall's Mill that's been grown, or where did it all begin?
Well, you're talking about where it began for me.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking. Yeah.
Where it got started many years ago. For me, it started right over there.
Really?
In this store. We had a counter over there. Clyde Evans Boyce, he was living in. He's no longer with us. We're sitting on that counter one morning. He and I sitting there rubbing our arms together there drinking coffee, and he said, well, I'll make some sorghum around here. Well,
Did you know it?
How you want to get started? He said, well, you remember years ago when my dad had that sorghum mill down there in that old farm down there where P.P. Claxton grew up. I know I'm getting into P.P. Claxton.
Yeah, again.
I said, yeah, I used to be down there when they used to come by there, that 4-wheel wagon loaded with sorghum going down to that mill where your dad used to make it. I said, yeah, I know a little bit about that. He said, well, I got the old sorghum mill at my house, horse-drawn sorghum mill that my granddad went to Chattanooga in. Drove a horse and horses all the way from here to Chattanooga, and brought that Chattanooga number 13 back over the mountains back home. Took about 2 weeks to make that trail. So I got that mill. I said, "Sight," he called it Sight. I said, "Sight, I got a place we can put that. Put the old Crowell place down there where I just bought." So Larry's brother built the support mill, built the furnace. We bought a pan, put all the horse stuff on top there so we could get a mule or horse to turn around. That's basically where we got started. Answer your question.
It all started right there, yeah.
Right over there.
Yeah. That's cool.
About, we'll say, about 2 years before year 2000.
Yeah.
But our first halfway decent sorghum we made was year 2000. Certain. It took us 2 or 3 years to ever get where we knew what we halfway.
Yeah.
We didn't ask no help from nobody.
Y'all just kind of experimenting with it.
And we didn't make any real good stuff until Hollis Pascal. He's my nephew.
Yeah.
Got involved with, and Hollis is our main cook right now. He's been at it for 20 years.
So is that when y'all started the festival and everything? So
about 2000. Yeah.
About 2000, yeah. And so when is the festival?
This year will be the 1st of October.
1st of October.
First Saturday in October.
And y'all do it every first Saturday.
First Saturday.
Yeah. And so where is it? You know, if you give people the details and everything about where is the festival. 210
Pascal Road. You put it on the GPS. I can smell the sorghum cooking now.
How long does it take to cook all that?
All
during
day.
All day?
All day.
Yeah.
I got sorghum 8 feet high in my patch right now.
Wow. And so when people come to the festival, you know, they get to try the sorghum and everything. And like, what else is there at the sorghum? What else is there at the festival that you guys do?
We have a bunch of old thrashers sitting around. I get binders, combines. Got the mules. Got the mules that turn the sorghum press. We put the sorghum in the press.
Oh, that's cool.
Turn the juice out like we did 200 years ago.
That's
Same
crazy.
thing.
Yeah.
We cook the sorghum on site with fire with cedar slabs.
You gotta have the cedar slabs.
It's a heat related thing. You gotta know what you're doing, and we all go back to Hollis as far as the cooking.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm involved with everything except the cooking. I hadn't cooked one drop.
Really? You've never cooked one?
Never. You gotta know what you're doing to cook. Randy Davis is the number two man. You know, he comes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's
Mr. Randy.
he's been
Yeah,
around
really.
Hollis long enough, but everybody leans on Hollis, and he knows it, and he knows how to do it, and he instructs everybody else on how to do it.
On how to do it.
Coy Moeller, you know him.
Right.
He's been in here, and Coy is the only time he does what Hollis tells him.
Cool.
It's on the day that we put songs.
Really? Oh, really?
With any other
That's
day,
the only.
he don't
He don't listen.
he don't listen. On the day Hollis, he's got him having it.
He listens.
Everybody listens to Hollis. And I'm not saying that just to build him up, but
That's the truth, right? That's the truth, right there.
it comes down to an art. It's an art.
That's crazy. You don't even hear about song, like anywhere else and everything. So it seems like it, that it's crazy, and that the fact that you guys didn't get really any help and just you guys kind of crafted it by yourself and everything.
We do it. Nobody gets paid to help us work around here or nothing.
Wow, that's awesome. That's so cool that the community. I love this community.
It's an educational type thing.
Yeah. But it's amazing. And I know, like, everybody, so the first Saturday in October.
Yeah, and we're known as the sorghum people around here, but
yeah.
We didn't know what we was doing, but 20 years will help you out.
Yeah.
And you still don't know what we're doing at 20 years later, but
you still learn things. I'm sure you still learn things. You still learn things every year.
We got the bugs that come in. They got some bugs coming out of North Florida and up here. It's coming. They like the sugar in this sorghum, and they'll know what you do.
Dude, that's cool, man.
Sugar cane aphis is very prevalent in here. They'll either patch up in no time if you don't watch it.
If you don't watch it. Yeah, wow, that's cool. And you guys have your own Facebook page and all that you were talking about and everything. So people, and so everyone go ahead and go to that and like their page too, because that's really and keep up with all your guys' information
over their updates and all that stuff.
Pictures and updates and everything, especially because I guess we're only just a couple months away from it and everything. So like you said, you've got it growing. You've got it growing now and everything.
Yeah.
When do you start cutting it?
After Labor Day.
After Labor Day?
We usually have about 2 cooked before the show because we need some sorghum so that we can have some sorghum ready in case people want to buy a little bit. I don't go commercial.
Okay.
We sell it
just
on
there,
site.
just on site that day.
Yeah, we put it in nice little plastic jugs like.
Oh yeah, I've seen. Yeah, let me go get one. I know what you're talking. I got. Yeah, I know what she is. She got it right here.
Put it in nice little plastic. We use glass every once in a while. Yeah.
This thing right here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, dude. This is cool. Yeah, I like this. This jar. This is cool.
Yeah.
I like this. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
sweet.
That's
sweet.
fully loaded.
This is cool. So it goes on pancakes, waffles, hot biscuits, grits, and cereal.
That sorghum it's heavier than water. It weighs.
I was about to say this thing's pretty heavy. Yeah, it's not.
It weighs 11 pounds per gallon, and water don't weigh about 8.34.
Should have put that right there. Should have had that right. Should have had that right there the whole time. That's cool.
And that little picture there is basically what we're.
That's like what you guys are. That's still how y'all develop it and make it, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
And there's no additives. There's no sugar put in it. It's all pure, refined. It's what's left over after water's cooked off of it. The ratio of what we usually use a rule of thumb.
Dang.
It's about 10 to 1 ratio. 10 gallon water, 1 gallon of syrup.
1 gallon
10
syrup.
to 1.
Yeah, it's definitely heavier. That's
Now,
really
you get
cool.
up in New England and places where they got the maple syrup, it's 40-1.
Oh, is it? Yeah. So it's
Our sorghum will check out juice wise out of the stalk about 16 brick tests. That's BRIX.
yeah.
That's the percentage of sugar in the juice. About 16. That's you hardly ever eat.
That's
Sometimes
cool.
you'll get some. This is when you squeeze the juice out of the stalk. We don't let the heads get into her. The heads are cut off before we smash the juice.
Sweet. Man. So in October, first Saturday in October,
Yes, sir.
everybody. And so this is the first show that we've done. We'll wrap this thing up. This is the first show that we've ever done at Halls. This is the first podcast, I believe, that's probably been ever done
Probably.
here at Halls Mill. And with Randall Crowell. The legend, Randall Crowell.
Well, there's been a whole lot more important people come out of here too.
Oh, yeah. I know, but with you and all the knowledge and everything that you have about this place, then this is just awesome. And the community, like you were talking, especially when it comes to sorghum and everything, it's just, we love this community, and, we love seeing you guys here every day.
Yeah.
So it's awesome, man.
Well, this community's always been that way. We do things around here that we don't ever get organized on anything. But it happens.
But it happens, yeah, that's right.
With tractor pulls and all this stuff at the clubhouse.
Yeah.
It
Exactly.
It just happens. It's basically amazing.
Yeah, it is. It's all amazing. So we'll wrap it up here tonight. And you know what? You and me will see each other. You and I, we'll see each other in the morning, drink coffee, and eat breakfast together.
All right.
Sound pretty good?
You guys open up, we'll be here.
All right, everybody. You're listening to the Fuzzy Duck Show. Thank you, Mr. Randall, for coming on, brother.
I want to thank. I gave Fuzzy Duck his name.
You did. You did. Captain Fuzzy Duck. Captain Fuzzy Duck.
No, Captain Fuzzy Lucky Duck. Garland.
Gar-
I didn't know his last name.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you.
Oh,
Oh, that was a good one. That was fun. That was good, man.
well, I hate to look at that thing.
That was fun. That'll be a good one.
Yeah, all right.
That'll be fun. Yeah, we'll definitely be out there in October. That's going to be awesome. This is really going to be cool.